Hello friends, today under method of observation and data collection, we are going to discuss about a popular technique of the social research that is known as sociometry. Now, in brief, sociometry is nothing but it is an quantitative method of measuring social relation based on choices. Means it basically quantify the people's choice. Choice means whom you like to talk with, whom you like to interact with, whom you from whom you used to take information related to your class, for maybe a farmer from whom you take the information about the new agricultural techniques. Okay. So, this choice, line of communication, choice of line of influences, choice of majority groups. So, all these things basically studied under the concept of the sociometry. Okay. So, it will be more clear when we come to the different types of it. So, the term sociometry originated from a Latin word, combination of Latin word. So, it came from the Latin word socius, which means friends, companions, companion, partner, and metrum. Metrum means it is a measure. Okay. So, it basically from that point of view, it is the measure of the friendship, companionship, partnership. Okay. So, and this particular technique of sociometry or this term itself, it was coined by the Jacob Levi-Moreno, a social scientist, okay, and who also took up the first study by using the sociometric technique 1932 to 1938 in the New York state of USA. So, sociometry is basically it is the study of interpersonal relationship between people, okay, in a group. So, that means sociometry studied the line of communication, line of choice, line of influences which operate among a group of individual, okay, when they are in the group, okay, and the inquiry into the evolution and organization of the group and the position of the individual within them is generally studied through the sociometric process. Okay. So, now when we use the term sociometry from the research point of view, it basically indicates to a number of methods which are there under it. Okay. And broadly speaking, okay, sociometric involved or sociometric analysis have three different type, which is known as sociometric matrices, sociogram or directed graphs, and sociometric indices. Okay. So, now what are the purpose of the sociometry? Okay. The sociometry can be used to study the social interaction and factors affecting it, okay, in a group situation. Okay. Now, so along with the social interaction, it can also be used for studying different group characteristics like group cohesiveness, group morale. Okay. So, that also can be taken up for the study under by using the three sociometric technique I just talked about. Okay. Along with the group characteristics, it can study the different individual characteristics also. Okay. So, individual characteristics means those characteristics which are dependent on the communication or interaction. Okay. So, it can be used for studying the leadership quality, it can be used for studying the liberalism. Okay. So, this type of characteristics or group or individual characteristics which depend on the communication between the individual, that can also be taken for the study under sociometric through sociometric technique. Okay. So, that means any personality factors which are related to the interpersonal interaction or interpersonal relation, okay, that can be measured through the using of the sociometric technique. Okay. So, most common characteristics of the social relation that generally taken up through the process of the sociometry for the analysis, that involve it can be used for the studying the popularity of a person, it can be used for studying the social status or the position of position of a person in a group. And status position means I am not talking about the socio-economic status. Here mostly we are talking about the social status in terms of how popular or how we interact with other. Okay. And also used for can be used for the peer acceptance or the rejection. So, these are the three common characteristics we generally studied through the process of the sociometry. Okay. But it is not the exhaustive list. Okay. So, many things, okay, any particular characteristics of the individual, okay, or a object in the group interaction situation can be taken up through the for the study through the process of the sociometry. Okay. Now, the sociometry, as I told, okay, so there are three broad type of the sociometric techniques. Okay. So, it started with the sociometric matrices. Now, what is a matrix? So, matrix, as you all know, okay, it is an basically array of symbols or numbers, okay, and it is an, for the sociometric purpose we use the n into n array. So, n basically means means that the number of person or number of individual in the group. Okay. So, for the purpose of the sociometry we use the square matrix, okay, so which is basically n into n type. Okay. So, means in the both of the in row and column, okay, so both the number of the individual they are the same. Okay. And in case of the sociometric matrices, okay, so this column is generally represented by the symbol I, okay, whereas this particular row is represented by the symbol J, okay, and a particular choice position of a particular person, it is means if it is the choice position of the X person. So, this choice position is generally studied based on this particular taking the each of the row. Okay. So, now if the person here is the person is the X, so his position, okay, in the same particular, when you compare it with the same individual, okay, so diagonal is 0 because no one can communicate. Okay. So, here we are talking about interpersonal relationship. Okay. So, there is no interaction or interpersonal interaction possible with the himself or own self. Okay. So, that is why this in the choice status we put the 0 in the diagonal. Okay. So, now if you come to this second column of the second row, okay, so that is 1. Okay. So, this position is generally represented by the X ij. Okay. Means, so choice status of the X, so ith is the row and j is the column. Okay. That is why it is represented. Okay. So, now if you look into this particular matrices, so say there are two particular number, that is 0 and 1. So, what this number basically signify? Okay. So, as I told, why the sociometry, what is the purpose of the sociometry? So, that basically look into the choice of a particular persons in terms of the interaction, influences and this type of characteristics which can be determined by the process of the interaction. Okay. So, now just you assume that, so this is a 6 into 6 matrix because there are 6 person like X, Y, Z, P, Q, R, these are the 6 person involved in the social interaction process. Okay. So, now you just assume that these are the 6 scientists, okay, and who are asked the question that with whom they want to work in a project, okay, for the next 2 years. Okay. So, they are asked to give their simple choice, okay, with whom they want to work for a project in the next 2 years. Okay. So, and this particular matrices is built up basis of the answer of this question. Okay. So, how this answer or how this question can be answered? Okay. So, there in sociometry there are 3 type of choices. What are those? Okay. So, there is simple one-way choices, there is mutual two-way choices and there is a situation of the no choice. Okay. So, and also you can use the, okay, so though generally there are 3 type of choices, so there may be the rejection choice also. Okay. So, in case of in case of choice, whether it is a simple choice or whether it is a mutual choice, okay, so it is represented by the number of 1. Like if this person Y chooses X, okay, then it will be, or X chooses Y, okay, if you come to the first row, that means, okay, second column, so that is the Xij. Okay. So, here means X chooses Y, okay, and so that is the choice status of the X. Okay. Now, if you come to the Y, what is the choice status of the Y in case of to the X? Then Y does not choose the X. Okay. So, that means it is an simple one-way interaction or choice. Okay, where the ith member may choose the jth member, okay, or where X may choose the Y, but Y may not choose the X. Okay. So, that is we call the simple one-way interaction and it is represented by the number 1. Now, mutual interaction is the cases where both the X and Y chooses each other. Okay. Like if you come to the last row, that is the person is the R. Okay. So, here you will find out that R, when you look into the choice status of R with the Y, you will find out R chooses Y. Okay. Now, if you go back to again to the second row where you find out the choice status of Y with the R, then also you will find out, okay, this Y also choose R or Y have interaction with the R, okay, that means they both chooses each other. So, this we call the mutual choice, okay, and there may be no choice situation. No choice means, okay, so that like y to the x in the second row there is 0, that means there is no choice. So, that means no choice is represented by the number 0. Choice, whether it is mutual or simple choice, it is represented by number 1. Okay. Now, where the negative choice or rejection is allowed, okay, sometimes it is the -1 is generally used. Okay. So, this building sociometric matrices is so as simple as that. Okay. So, if you now come to the analysis of this matrix, okay, so now the choice status or choice status of a person, okay, can be simply it can be visualized from the by simply adding the all the choice status he received in that particular column. Okay, like if you come to the choice status of the x, okay, so he received in total 2 choices. Okay, now if you come to the choice status of the y, so he basically received 3 choices. If you come to the choice status of the z, then he also received the 2 choices. Okay, by adding up the numbers, means 0 and 1 in that particular column, you can actually reach to the choice status of a particular person in the sociometric indices. Now, in case of the this particular summation can be made in case of the row also. Okay, so that row summation is only important where in case of the unlimited number of choice are allowed. Okay, when there is a limited number of choice, so only the column summation or the column total is important for the analysis point of view. When there is unlimited choice situation, so the row status actually gain meaning in that particular condition. Otherwise, the analysis can be done based on this particular this column total. Okay. Now, next type of sociometric technique is that is the sociogram. Okay. So, what sociogram is? So, sociometric, when you talk about the sociometric matrices, so if the matrix is involved with too many member, okay, maybe it is 60-70 members. Okay, so this analyzing the matrix or visualizing the matrix is little bit difficult. Okay, so in that cases, okay, so the better representation may be the use of the sociogram. Now, but if you have to keep into the mind, sociogram is also not suitable for the too much large number of people who are involved in the, or if the group size is too large, it may not be easy to construct. Okay, so sociogram is best suitable when we have a small to medium group size like 30 to 40 people involved in the group interaction process, then the sociogram is can be constructed. Okay, so what sociogram is? So sociogram is basically the diagrammatic representation of the internal choice status of the, it is the diagrammatic representation of the internal choice status of the members of a group. Okay. So, again the choice status are simple as I already told, already discussed before, there are 3 type of choices. Okay. If the double headed arrow is there, that means mutual choices. If single headed arrow is there, that means there is one way choices, and if there is no arrow, that means there is no choice situation. Okay. So, now okay. So, now this sociogram, so sociogram is an very useful for the when your purpose is to describe the group interaction structure. Okay. And also this sociogram can be used for finding out the cliques in a particular group, like especially if you are from the student of the agricultural extension or agriculture. So, you may all know about the theories of the diffusion of innovation, or how agricultural innovation or agricultural technologies, okay, so that diffused across the member of the group. Okay. And in this particular this diffusion theory, you will find out that there was the categories of the adopter whom we known as the innovator, who actually interact with each other. Okay, but they may not have that much interaction with the outside of their particular group. Okay, so this particular interaction situation we call them the clique. Like if you notice this particular sociogram, okay, here you will find out the A, B and D, they have mutual interaction with all the member of each other. Okay, so this is an clique. Okay. So, to finding out this particular cliques in a particular society, it is also useful to use of it is also the use of the sociogram is also effective. But you have to keep into the mind again that sociogram is mostly used for the descriptive purpose. Secondly, it is not suitable if the size of the group is the 20 to 30, or if it is more than 40. Okay, small and medium size group is most suitable for the sociogram analysis. The name also, instead of sociogram, sometimes also use the name the directed graphs. Now, coming to the last type of sociometric techniques, that is the sociometric indices. Okay, sociometric indices are nothing but, okay, so those are the indexes that is built on the basis of the group interaction, okay, which I or the interaction or the type of choices, okay, that is basically received by the group members, okay, and by which is summarized by a number of formula. Okay. So the basic or the background process remains same, means that there are 3 type of choices and that is quantified by the number 0 using or the number 1. Okay. So like one of the common indices is the choice status of a person. Okay. So like if you go back again to that particular sociometrics or sociometric matrix, okay, so you will find out the X, the total choice status, total choice received by the person X was 2. Okay. So now coming to the choice status of a person, that can be calculated or estimated by the formula of the summation of C by n minus 1. So C means the choice received by the summation of choice received by a particular member of the group. Okay. N minus 1 is that is number of person in the group situation who are interacting minus 1. Okay. Now why it is n minus 1? So again that a particular individual, he cannot interact with himself. Okay. So that's why it is on n minus 1. So if you take the choice status of the person X, that means he received n minus 1, means that was 6 minus 1. So that was 4. So now if you do that, calculate the choice status is simply represented by the 0.5. Okay. So in the similar way, all the member choice status can be calculated, okay, looking into that how much popular he is in the group. Okay. In the similar way, so there is another sociometric indices, that is the group cohesiveness. Okay. So it is measured by the formula, or it is estimated by the formula, the summation of ij. Okay. So this particular symbol, double headed arrow between I and j, that represented the mutual choices. Okay. That is divided by n into n minus 1 by 2. Okay. So now if you go back again to that particular sociometric matrices, okay, so how many mutual choices was there? Like the R chooses Y chooses R. Okay. In the similar way, if you come to the Z, so R chooses Z, okay, Z chooses R. Okay. So let's take that these 2 sociometric, or we receive the 2 mutual choices. Okay. Like if you come to this particular this sociogram, okay, like C chooses A chooses C, A chooses B, D chooses A, okay, D and C, these 3 are the 3 mutual choices. Okay. And also here is a mutual choice between the F and E. Okay. So how many mutual choice was there? Total 5 mutual choice was there. Okay. So and how many member was there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 member was there. Okay. So what will be the cohesiveness of the group? It will be 5 mutual choice was there in the sociogram. It will be 5 by n into n minus 2. N means 6 into 6 minus 1 by 2, that is. So now if you calculate this particular choice status, you will get 0.33. Okay. So that is the value of the group cohesiveness. Okay. So now, so this particular group cohesiveness formula for the unlimited choices. Okay. So when there is limited choice available, then this formula is just replaced by the summation of I double headed arrow j, okay, divided by dn by 2. Okay. D is the number of choices allowed. Okay. N is the number of members in the group. Okay. So it is calculated by this particular situation. Okay. If the 2 choices are available, then it will be 5 by 2 into n, 12 by 2 means 6. Okay. So that will be the group cohesiveness. That means if you calculate this, you will get 0.83. Okay. It is the simple elaboration. Okay. In the similar way, you can find out the social compatibility index. Okay. That is again the number of mutual choices by the n minus 1, number of person in the group minus 1. Emotional expansiveness index means the sum total of choice received and that number of choices available. So now if you go back to that particular sociogram, okay, so there are 36 choice possible, and among them there are 15 choice made. Okay. So number of social cohesiveness is equal to, it will be 15 choice made and number of choice available, that was 36. Okay. So what will be the value in the social cohesiveness index? It will be 15 by 36, that is 0.41. Okay. So that will be the value of the emotional expansiveness index. So these are the some of the example. Okay. So there are in the research you will find out similar research or similar indices, okay, to measure the different interaction pattern based on the sociometric choices. So like here I present one of the study which was carried out by the Kosik and Pajek. Okay. So that was basically the peer perceived popularity, okay, by using the sociometric technique. Okay. He classified the group which is studied into the 4 groups, okay, based on the 2 dimension. Okay, one is the social rejection, okay, that was represented by the least nomination, another is the social acceptance, that is indicated by the most nomination, okay, and he classified the group into 4, or classified the this study individual, or the group individual whom he studied, okay, classified into as a neglected, rejected, popular and controversial. So this type of research finding, or this type of conceptualization using the sociometric technique, okay, there are lot of example in the research. Okay. So these are the different sociometric techniques, or different techniques which we used under the sociometry, and as I already explained that these are very useful and but simple technique. So coming to the conclusion part of this sociometry. So by now you understood that the sociometry is a very simple, okay, economical and natural method for studying the interaction pattern of the individual in a group. Okay. So whenever the relation are there, like choosing, dominating, influencing, communicating, so those particular this relation exists within the group, okay, that thing can be taken up to study through the sociometric technique. Okay. So this particular technique have the very high flexibility, but the limitation or the question or disagreement that generally lies with the quantification and the analysis of the choices. Okay. So whether it is this use of the number 1 or 0, okay, to only quantify the choice type, okay, is it acceptable, or is it logical, okay. So that the question basically lies around this particular aspect. Okay. And second objection or second limitation is around the use of the statistical technique. Okay. So this is the statistical or mathematical techniques based on this the choice status. Okay. So these are the 2 of the objection which are raised around the use of the sociometry by the researcher. Okay. So for studying the what are the positive or negative part, or whether this objection actually stand, okay. So you can I pointed out here one very good paper or good research paper that was written by the G.T. that was the some reflection on sociometry and its limitation. You can read it for clear your understanding on this particular limitation of the sociometry as what I was discussing. Okay. So at last, whenever a conceptual arrow can be drawn between the groups, okay. So this arrow means, so arrow may represent interacts with, arrow may represent communicate with, arrow may represent influence, okay, arrow may represent domination, arrow may represent accept, like to, okay, perceived as good, okay, whenever, or like me, as like me, okay. So whenever this particular relation exists, okay. So the sociometry can be used to study the different interaction pattern or individual characteristics based on the group interaction. So that is all in this today's class. So we will conclude with that. Thank you.